Hi everyone, I'm Teresa the teacher. I'm in England. This church is called St. Mary's. St. Mary's. It's an amazing building, look. And I'm in a town that's called Scarborough. Scarborough, and you might know it from the song Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary and thyme, which I also referenced in my herbs video, vocabulary herbs. So anyway, St. Mary's Church. Scarborough is in a region called Yorkshire in the north of England, and it's an amazing city. And near this church there are some graveyards, and in one of the graveyards there's something that I want to show you. But before we get there, I want to show you how beautiful this church is. So this is a church. By the way, all the difficult words, all the vocabulary will be down under the video in the video description, okay? So if you don't know how to write the new difficult words, go under the video, there is a text there. So this is an amazing church with a big clock and with stained glass windows, spelling in the video description. Are these windows made of very colourful glass, little pieces of colourful glass that you put in various shapes, you know, to make pictures. Incredibly beautiful. Then we've got some roses here and some benches. You can sit on a bench. I think this shape of bench is very, very normal for England. It's typical. I saw them in Oxford too, for example, and look how amazing it's here. So this is a grave, and we are in a graveyard, Some ruins over there, look, and you can also see the sea. Amazing, isn't it? I'll try to climb up here. Don't worry, I'm not climbing over graves. When you look, there is a beautiful lamp, some very nice flowers, and at the edge of the sea, on the coastline, you can see a tall building with a tower, and that building is a lighthouse. A lighthouse is a tall building with a light on top, and it prevents ships from having accidents. You see the light and you don't go and have an accident on the seashore. And, okay, I didn't die, nice. We have beautiful flowers here. This bush here, I know we also have it in the Czech Republic, but it's very much not common. It's very normal in England. In fact, it's more of an invasive species. It's everywhere. It survives everything. And it's called buddleia. Buddleia. I'll write it in the video description. So this is buddleia. And we've got some beautiful daisies. And I'll show you some more. Here, can you see the castle on top of the hill? You can see lots of trees almost hiding the castle. You can see the silhouette. The castle is not whole anymore. It's just a ruin. It's 950 years old, I think. And it was partly demolished in the 17th century during a war. The Civil War, in fact. So I might show you the castle another day, I'm not sure. Very beautiful. And now I'll just go to the graveyard over there, really near the church, but not this graveyard, and I'll show you a very special grave. So we are in the other graveyard, and this here with the flowers is the grave of Anne Brontë. Anne Brontë was a writer who lived in the 19th century. So this is the grave. I can see that it's damaged, but as you can see, people still bring flowers. And this here provides some additional information, some more information. Let's read it now. Anne Brontë, 1820 to 1849, novelist and poet. A novelist is a writer who writes novels. A novel is a book with only one story or one long story. For my Czech people, for my Czech viewers, the novel is román. When you want to say román in English, you don't say Roman. Roman means římský, Říman, so that's wrong. You need to say a novel. Like this. Novel. Román. A novelist is the writer who writes a novel. And a poet is a person who writes poetry, poems. So novelist, autorka románu, and poet, básnířka. The original headstone reads, "Here lie the remains of Anne Brontë, daughter of the Reverend P. Brontë, incumbent of Haworth, Yorkshire, maybe? I'm not sure, I don't know how to say this, sorry. She died aged 28, May the 28th, 1849. The text contains one error, one mistake. Anne Brontë was aged 29 when she died. This was placed here in 2018 by the Brontë Society. So you can see the grave here. And Anne Brontë wrote a book, a novel, called The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. I'm not sure what it's called in Czech, to be honest. It's a book about a mysterious woman who moves into a big house, and nobody in the neighborhood, no neighbor knows who she is, why she is there. She lives there with a little son, and after some time one of the men finds out that she's running away from her husband because the husband is a bad husband and he gives alcohol to the little boy. So basically she's trying to make life better for the little boy. That's why she's hiding. It's quite an interesting book. I have read the book, and Anne Brontë was the least famous of the three sisters who all were novelists. There was Emily, Charlotte and Anne. Emily wrote a book called Wuthering Heights. Wuthering Heights. For my Czech viewers, Wuthering Heights is Na větrné hůrce in Czech. So that's Emily. Then Charlotte Brontë wrote Jane Eyre. Jane Eyre, Jana Eyrová in Czech. And Anne Brontë, as I said, wrote The Tenant of Wildfell Hall. The three sisters, Emily, Charlotte and Anne Brontë, are all famous writers. They wrote very good books. They also had a brother, but the brother was not a writer. He never did anything interesting. And I think it's very interesting that the three girls in the 19th century, when you wanted boys, you didn't want girls as, you know, your children. Because boys could have a lot of money, they could be very useful to the family, and the girls just had to get married and not do anything interesting. But the three sisters were very important. Everybody wants to read about them, everybody knows their books, and the brother, just nobody cares, you know. So anyway, that's Anne Brontë. I'll just show you one more time. This is not the castle, it's just a big house. The castle is over there on the hill. There are some graves. Anne Brontë's grave, some houses, a car park. In British English you say a car park, and in American English you say a parking lot. And the sea and the coastline, and it's raining. And some ruins, and St. Mary's, the church, and two little British ladies with dogs. So yeah, anyway, this is Scarborough in Yorkshire. I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I'll be back with more holiday videos from England, and then eventually I'll come back to teaching grammar and normal vocabulary, okay? Tell me what you think about classical literature and the Brontë sisters in the comments.